Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again at my makeup party. I have Too Faced products for you today. It is the Natural Love collection. It is time for spring. This palette and this collection is everything spring. So I finally got my shipment in from Too Faced, and I just realized, here is the Natural Love palette. I just realized the lettering and the flowers and the bunny on here, they are velvet. This is like a velvet finish on here. And isn't this so pretty? It's just so romantic and sweet and springy without being, annoying. Without being just too cutesy and too annoying. I just think it is so pretty. This reminds me of some old books I had as a child that would have illustrations in them or covers like this. This just really takes me back, and I think this is so beautiful. When I first saw this palette online, I thought it looked a lot like the Lorac Mega Pro 3. And I'm going to compare those two for you today, but come to find out they are nothing alike. So here it is, the Natural Love palette. This was $59 and it did arrive with a cracked mirror. Look at that. I know I'm not ever going to sell this one to Glambot. I do sell and recycle my old high-end makeup that I don't want anymore. I sell to Glambot, and they don't like they won't take something that has a cracked mirror like that, but I'm not going to even get rid of this one because it is so stunningly gorgeous. Look at this. Look at this. This is such a varied but neutral and natural toned palette. I'm just amazed. I'm going to go over a lot of the colors with you, and I'm going to go over why I like this one so much. I have it on today, of course. I did sort of a lighter, more natural look with it. There are a million different looks that you can get out of this palette. I had a hard time deciding today what to do. You can do a very neutral look with a lot of browns, or you can do a lot of pinks and purples together. I did sort of a pink and light brown look to get today. Okay, I also have two of their new highlighters on today, and I have those to show you today too. This palette is so cool because it is a combination of new colors and old colors for Too Faced. This palette, as soon as I opened up and started reading some of the names on here, I started to realize this palette has all of my favorite Too Faced colors in it in one palette. I really was not expecting that. I was expecting them to throw in colors I didn't even like from all the old Too Faced palettes. So this is sort of a collection of all those cardboard boxed Too Faced palettes that you get, and it's all in one, plus there's a lot of new colors. Some of the old colors that I'm noticing right off the bat that are my favorites. One of my favorite colors of theirs is Chocolate Martini. I absolutely love it. It's brown with gold glitter. Another color I love of theirs is Honey Pot. I just cannot ever find a dupe for this. You just have to get that actual one. Nudie is another color I've always liked as a crease transition color with them. Satin Sheets is another good color. I have that on today. That Pink Cheeks is also another color of theirs in previous packages. And Push Up, I know that's another one of their colors. A lot of the old colors on here, but all of my favorite old colors, not some other ugly old colors. I'll take you through some of the colors on here, swatching, and then I'll show you how I did my eyes today. I've kind of noticed on this palette that as you go across on these rows, the colors all seem to kind of go together, and they would make a really pretty cohesive eye look going across this way. These are all very peach down here, the very pinks and purples here, very, very neutrals up here. I like the way it's sort of laid out that way. When I first saw this palette online, I thought it reminded me a lot in the colors of the Lorac Mega Pro 3. I'll show you the Mega Pro 3, and it is totally different than this. First of all, the pans are bigger on the Too Faced one. Okay, see how much bigger they are? And then as I'm looking at this one, I'm just seeing an overall warmth to the whole thing. A lot of more warm tones. To me, there's a mix of warm and cool on these, but there's a lot of pink. A lot of light pink and a lot of cool pink tones. I'm not really seeing that so much on this one here. This one, the Lorac one, has a lot of bronzes, a lot of copper. This one has some of that, but it's very just overall lighter. It's just a lighter look, more natural, lighter feel with this one. So I feel like they're just completely different now. Now that I finally got it in person and saw it in person, this one is just screaming spring at me. Just screaming spring at me. There are a couple of colors that I don't like the texture of, and one of them is called Fairy Tale. It is right here. It's a beautiful gold. I mean, that's a beautiful light, springy gold. It's one of those sort of gritty ones, the gritty ones that has the chunky glitter in it and just an ugly sheerness to it. It just doesn't work very well. Not as bad as some colors that I have tested before that have that chunky glitter in them. This is not as bad, but this one is still the worst color out of the palette, but it's still not horrible. So that's saying something. That's the worst color in the palette. It is not one of those super horrible ones, but it is the worst color in the palette. Another one that kind of disappoints me is this color called Tickle Me, and that is beautiful. I would love to use that as a lid color, but it is super, super light and sheer. There's like almost no pigment to it and almost no show-upness of it. That one is just really light. It is super light, doesn't really show up. The color called Nudie is absolutely perfect for a crease color, a transition color. I used that in my crease today. Beautiful color, Chocolate Martini, one of my all-time favorites. There's just not another warm brown like that with gold micro glitter. You just have to get it. Same with Honey Pot. There's just not another light gold that is not super yellow and that is the high metallic like that. I love the color called Push Up. That's a very neutral taupe. Look at those together. Absolutely gorgeous. Color called Undercover is a deep purple with insane orchid micro glitter in it. I've seen that one before. I swear I've seen that one before. It is absolutely stunning. I've got to get that on my eyes soon. Color called Smokin' has a beautiful olive green. Make a really pretty smoky eye look there on a lid. Love Bug. I have this on today. Oh boy, that's my color right there. Metallic Violet. Bunny Nose. Have that on my lids today. Right there. A nice bright blue pink. Poodle is a great, brilliantly white pearl with a hint of pink highlighter color. I have that on really lightly as my highlighter today. Two of the other colors I really like, actually three. Makeup and Chill, a burgundy brown, Hot and Bothered. A little bit gritty feeling on that, but look at how pretty that comes out. And then Honeymoon. That is a metallic pale peach. So far, this is my favorite palette that has come out this year, I think. So what I did today, first of all, I went into my crease with a color called Honey Butter. It is a very pale peachy color, but it really came out nice on the eyelid. It sort of gave a really nice texture or definition there. And then sort of more on my inner crease, I put a little bit of the color called Nudie. That is just the perfect crease color, the perfect contouring and sculpting color on your eye. Then I started in with Bunny Nose. It's just the palest cool pink. This one it went on so nicely. I don't know, there was a smoothness to it that was really unusual. As a lid color, it went on just beautifully. Then the outer third of my eye, I put the color called Love Bug because it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's a little bit metallic. On my inner third of my eyelid, I would say, I put Satin Sheets. Now that came out really a yellowy gold, and I don't know that I love it there because it came out really just a buttery yellow, and I kind of wanted something that was a little more neutral in there. Then in my very outer corner, I put Makeup and Chill, and it just blended itself. The two outer corner colors I used, Love Bug and Makeup and Chill, they just blended themselves. And that's unusual. Usually with deeper colors like that, you have to kind of work to blend them. These just blended themselves. It was just like the perfect amount went on, and it just was perfect. Then I went back and put a little more Honey Butter for my crease to make sure it came through. I did put Poodle very lightly under my brows as a highlight. I lined under my eyes in Nudie. Came out really, really nice. And then I put a little bit of Coffee Date under there just to give it a little bit of shine. There are just so many different looks you can get from this palette. I want to try more and more. I want to do a super pink one with these pinks and lavenders. And I want to do a super brown one with this olive green and these other browns on here. This is just such a versatile palette. So along with my Too Faced shipment, I did get 2 of their new highlighters. I got Blinded by the Light, which is a lighter colored one, and Ray of Light, which is a peachy one. I have both of these on today. So I have to say I am not in love with these. I am not a fan of these. I waited and waited and waited for these, and they kept coming up on my Facebook feed. They kept showing up as coming soon, and people were talking about them, and they were just highly anticipated. I was really looking forward to these just for months. And then I get them and I just don't like the formula. So they come in a really cute packaging. It is a heart and it is a puffed heart. So puffed heart, love that. So this is the color called Ray of Light, and it is a rose gold. So they are prismatic. They've got this prism look to them. They are very domed up. So there's a lot of product on here. This is the color called Blinded by the Light. This is the lightest color. They have one more color that's very golden. I thought these 2 would be the best for my skin. The problem with these is they are hard. They're that baked sort of gelée texture. They kind of are almost as hard as, and I hate this. The NARS Dual Intensity blushes, I hate them. They're so hard, and they also come in eyeshadows too. They're hard to get on your brush unless you want to wet your brush. I don't want to wet my brush. These are that same hard consistency, and they are showing the texture on my skin very badly. I don't have that problem most of the time with highlighters, but this one is really showing it. So here is Blinded by the Light. You can see that in maybe 2 or 3 uses, I've already got sort of that oily hard pan baked across the top of it that you've got to scrape through even more to get more product out of. It's already hard enough, and I'm scraping and scraping to get product on my brush to apply to my face. I don't want to use my fingers on this. That's going to make the hard pan worse. When you have it on your cheek, it's not ugly. It's not ugly. It just is showing my texture really badly. Can you see my pores in there? And I don't usually have that problem with highlighters. So this is Blinded by the Light, and that's scrubbing it pretty well. I mean, there are other highlighters that you don't have to scrub like that pick up on your brush a lot easier. Yes, that's pretty. It looks nice, but the back of my hand is much smoother than my face. So it's really just showing these pores. And here is Ray of Light. Ray of Light is a peach rose gold. It's rather neutral. It's not super pink or super peach. And this is it right here. I mean, I have so many highlighters that I love. Why should I struggle with these? This is how I put them on today. I used a larger fluffy brush to put Ray of Light on as sort of a blush topper because it is a little deeper than my skin tone, but I think that I do that a lot. I do like a peachy blush topper, and then I will do an actual neutral or whitish highlight on my very point of my cheekbone. And that's what I did today. I took Blinded by the Light with a smaller brush and put that on just my the very corner of my cheekbone there. And it's not bad looking on from a distance, but I can really see a lot of texturing going on. It's not, the colors are not ugly by any means, but I have colors like them that I like the texture and the ease of use better on. So those are my Too Faced comments today. I'm feeling very two-faced today because on the one hand I love the palette, and on the other hand I don't really love the highlighters. I want to love the highlighters because they're so cute with the little dome and the prism and the heart, but I just can't do it. So thanks for joining me. Bye, and I'll see you soon. And enjoy your Too Faced natural love for spring.